Writing a research proposal. Structure of a research proposal. 1. Introduction or background. 2. Statement of the problem. 3. Research objective. 4. Scope and limitation. 5. Significance of the study. 6. Review of literature. 7. Research methodology. 8. Reference. 9. Work plan and budget. 1. Introduction or background. Background acquaints the reader with available literature in the area of your study. It should start with broader perspective of the subject area. Should essentially cover the following: overview of main area under study, historical perspective and ideological issues, major theories, main issues, problems and advances, important theoretical and practical issues, main findings related to core issues. Example: suppose you wanted to study the impact of tax audit on voluntary compliance. Your introduction should cover the following: 1. Overview of taxation economic significance, historical perspectives on taxation, definition and theories of voluntary compliance, issues, problems, and advances about voluntary compliance, theoretical and practical issues about voluntary compliance, main findings relating to tax audit and voluntary compliance. So, statement of the problem. It should identify some of the gaps in the existing literature. Also identify unanswered questions. Provide evidence from previous studies about issues supposed to be investigated in the study. It should identify issues that are the basis of your study. Specify various perspectives on the issues. Identify gaps in the literature. Develop rationale for your study. Example: statement of the problem for the study on impacts of taxation audit on voluntary compliance. The following should be included: the research questions and what literature says about each of them. Specify various perspectives on the tax audit and voluntary compliance. Identify gaps in the literature. Develop rationale for your study. Scope and limitations. Scope shows the boundary of your research. It indicates areas that will be covered in your study, thereby informing readers to set their expectation accordingly. Limitations refers to methodological issues that you think have impact on the quality of your data or soundness of your analysis. Significance of the study. It should explain how important your study is in terms of adding knowledge to the existing body of literature, raising a policy concern, or help in formulating policy. Review of literature. Goals of review of literature: to demonstrate familiarity with a body of knowledge and establish credibility. To show the path of peer research and how current project is linked to it. To integrate and summarize what's known in an area. To learn from others and simulate new ideas. Provides a theoretical background to the study. Helps you in establishing the link between the purposed study and the existing knowledge. Enables you to show contribution of your find to the existing body of literature. Brings clarity and focus to your study. Improve your methodology. Broaden your knowledge base in your research area. Contextualize your findings. Steps of review literature. 1. Identify literature related to each research question. 2. Organize your literature by grouping issues into separate categories. 3. Develop a theoretical framework. 4. Develop a conceptual framework. As you review literature, you should Note, the knowledge relevant to your theoretical framework has been confirmed. Note, theories put forward, criticisms of this and their basis, the methodologies adopted and criticisms. Examine to what extent findings can be generalized to other situations. Notice where significant difference of opinions of researchers and give your opinion about the validity of the differences. Ascertain areas in which little or nothing is known. The gap in literature. Research design or methodology. Procedures you follow and techniques you use to answer research questions. Is a procedural plan adopted by a researcher to answer questions validly, objectively, accurately, and economically. Functions. Conceptualize operational plan to undertake various procedures and tasks required to complete your study. Ensure procedures are adequate to obtain valid, objective, and accurate answers to the research questions. The data. There are two types of data: primary data, secondary data. Primary data collection technique. 1. Observation. 2. Interview. 3. Focus group discussion. 4. Questionnaire. Sampling. Sampling frame, sample size, sample technique. Sample selection. 1. Random or probability sampling technique. Simple random sampling. Each unit in the population has equal chance to being selected. Systematic random sampling. Units of population are selected at a regular interval. Example: interviewing every 10th household in the selected area of survey. Stratified sampling. The population is broken down into heterogeneous categories that contain similar units. Example: population divided into different income groups. Random sampling. Cluster sampling. The population is divided into different homogeneous categories. Example: potential consumers of a product are divided into different geographic locations. North, East, South, West, this also by subcity. Non-random or non-probability sampling. Purposive sampling. Selecting units with a particular purpose. Convenience sampling. Selecting units that are more convenient to cover in the sample. Example: telephone survey of those who have a telephone number in the directory. Non-random sampling. Snowball sampling. In snowball sampling, you start by identifying a few respondents that match the criteria for inclusion in your study, and then ask them to recommend others they know who also meet your selection criteria. Example: if you wish to survey computer network administrators and you know of only 1 or 2 such people, you can start with them and ask them to recommend others who also do network administration. Although this method hardly leads to representative samples, it may sometimes be the only way to reach hard-to-reach populations or when no sampling frame is available. Thank you for watching. If you like the presentation, please subscribe the channel for more videos and like this video. Also share this video to your friends. Thank you.